Hello, Frakamas here. Today we're going to be doing an overview on an indie house based in the US by a self-taught perfumer. The house that we're going to be looking at is called Hendley Perfumes and is by a self-taught perfumer called Hans Hendley. A couple of weeks ago I did grab a sample set from his website. I was able to only get 4 because out of the 6 that I listed on his website, 2 are sold out, so I didn't get my hands on Bourbon and then Amora. So the ones that we're going to be doing an overview on today are going to be Fume, Rosenthal, Moan, and then Blonde. Before I even jump into the overview, I want to say right from the gate that I'm really impressed by his work. His style is really particular. He has a way of balancing notes that is really impressive, but more than that, the way he chooses the note to complement each other, highlight some facets around a theme without distracting from the main theme is really impressive. So definitely a self-taught perfumer that we need to keep our eyes on. And if you have not yet tried his work, for $30 for 4 samples around 2 ml each, that is pretty well priced. So grab his work here or his samples to see what the house is all about. I'm sure glad I did grab some samples from his work here. I'm really impressed, like I said. So without further ado, let's jump into the overview. So let's start with my favorite out of the 4 that I've tried, and it's gonna be Moan, for good reasons. To my nose, this one is built around Hey Absolute, and he builds in other notes to build a complete theme or picture. The picture that comes to mind when I tried this one, imagine you're in a farmhouse, vast land, you have hay bales on the field, they're brown now, nothing that has been recently cut, so have brown hay bales on the field. Earlier that day you had a light rain, enough to get the hay bales wet. Fast forward in the afternoon, after long days of work, you're sitting on the porch and then you're having a sweet herbal tea. And in the distance, you have this breeze that is carrying along with it a smell of slightly wet hay. And then as the day goes on, the sun is out, it gets drier and drier. And then at that time, what you're getting at the end of the day is a drier hay smell. That's what I get out of this fragrance. It has a tranquility effect to it, peaceful, open space feel to it. That's why I really enjoyed this one. So of course this is going to open with a nice complex Hey Absolute note. So you're going to get dark sweet berry fruit accord. Along with that, for a brief moment you get a wet brown hay smell, and it's not going to be anything that is freshly cut. As it evolves though, like I said, it's going to turn drier and drier, and then you're going to get the addition of dried fruits. Hay in itself has tobacco-like nuances, but I believe he's using another note to heighten that facet of tobacco, the dry tobacco note. There's also oak moss that is listed in the note breakdown. It complements, of course, the Hey Absolute note. And then as it evolves, I get also the addition of some herbalness that is coming from chamomile that is pretty prominent. And in the background, I also get a powderness that is coming from orris. It adds more of an effect than a present note that is detected. So you get some type of powderiness that is complementing the dusty tobacco effect in the dry down. So that's pretty much what I get out of the fragrance. It's well done, it's well balanced, has this, like I said, open feel to it, freedom, space. It's just well done. And then this one, the picture that it paints for me is really enjoyable. That's why this one is the favorite out of the 4 that I've tried. So let's move on to my second favorite out of the line. Is going to be Fume. What a wonderfully balanced fragrance again. This one, if you like dry, smoky, woody vetiver along with coniferous feels, you're going to love this one. If you love Serge Lutens Fille en Aiguille, but you want something that is more wearable, something that can be all year round on a daily basis without feeling overwhelmed, Fume might be it for you. If you love Arso by Parfumum Roma and you're looking for something that is a lot more balanced, I would say check out Fume. To my nose, the picture that he paints here is just wonderful. So for a split second, it gives the imagery of something that is bright, something that has a green, happy feel to it. Just for a minute before that is just smeared away. And he achieves that with the use of galbanum. To my nose, galbanum has that happy green smell to it, and then you get that for the first few minutes, and then it is being reeled in or smeared away by the addition of a smoky accord, but in airy way. It's not going to be something that is overly dark, and I think he achieves that with the use of black tea. Black tea to my nose has some smoky nuances, but also a black leather feel attached to it. And you do get some subtle black leather accord throughout the wearing of the fragrance, but also the subtle smoke nuances that I described earlier that you're going to get throughout the wearing of the fragrance. So pretty much overall, in the fragrance, you're going to get galbanum throughout, but at the beginning you're going to get a bright happy green, but that is going to be swallowed in by the smoky nuances coming from the black tea. You're also going to get the woody vetiver that is going to be supplemented by the cypriol that is adding a dry woody accord. It's beautifully done, centered around this imagery of think of camping in the middle of a coniferous forest. You're having a campfire, and then you pick up a pine needle branch that is not fully dried and you toss it in the fire. You're standing at a distance because the type of smoke that you're getting here is nothing that is going to be suffocating. It's going to be airy, so at a distance you're smelling a smoky pine needle accord that is supplemented with cypriol, adding a dry woody facet to it, but the galbanum also adding that slightly bright green facet to the fragrance. And I need to emphasize the airy nature of this fragrance. It's not going to be something that is bold. So if you're looking for something that is bold like Fille en Aiguille by Serge Jutin, you might think that this one is on the milder side, but for me, the airiness, the way balanced that makes it really wearable, enjoyable, something that can be enjoyed on a daily basis, and that's what makes this one a winner in my book. In third place, we have Blondes, and what a fitting name. Out of this, I get musky, powdery woods, fruity florals, of course. I get a light osmanthus note that is adding this woody floral and then slightly fruity apricot-y like tone to the fragrance. Along with that, I get a glaze of jasmine and sandalwood that is adding body to the fragrance without making it heavy. There's a set of inones that are adding this powdery, irisy feel to the fragrance without being too lipsticky. And then along with that, going with the grain of the fragrance, I get a clean faux leather smell that has like a suede-like texture attached to it. And the leather accord here did remind me of a material that I got out of Perfumer's Apprentice that is called Cuir Vitessence. Has a beautiful, clean faux leather smell to it, but also some odd freshness that is attached to it that is veering almost plasticky if you use it too much. So here in Blonde, Hans did balance it beautifully. It sits in the background and adds this texture to the fragrance without overtaking it. So you're not going to get that plasticky feel that I described out of Cuir Vitessence as a material. Really well balanced here. I'm really pleased with what he has done here. It's something that you can enjoy. It's not taxing to the nose. Just something that you enjoy and then go about your day. The first time I sprayed this, my wife was sitting with me, and then the first thing she said was, wow, what is this? Can I wear it? Can I get a full bottle? And I can definitely see why she enjoys this one so much. To me though, when I first tried this, and then every time I wear this, what it keeps reminding me of is my favorite pillow. So fluffy, makes me sleep like a baby. It actually reminds me of fluffy clouds when I wear this one. Like I said, I understand why my wife's love this one, because it has a pleasant smell to it. Something that you just wear, go about your day, and just enjoy the beautiful wafts. Last but not least, we're looking at Rosenthal, and then this is rose centric, but it's not going to be your sweet, overly jammy type of rose. Here is a dewy rose petal-like smell, and then it is quickly paired with the addition of an irisy sandalwood that's adding a slightly powdery, slightly woody backbone to the rose. As it progresses though, I get the addition of a musky green stem accord with a hint of something that is slightly metallic. I think it might be coming off one of the damascone that is using to compose the rose. I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly what damascone, if it's beta or alpha, but it's a slightly metallic tone in the background, not really noticeable, but then it gives that slightly musky green stem accord to the rose, which makes or paints a beautiful picture here. As it evolves though, I get something that is a rose accord that is a little bit deeper, but not too much, with the addition of a light earthy patchouli, not overly earthy or not overly woody. You get a light earthy patchouli that is deepening the rose accord a little bit, and a pinch of incense that is hovering over the composition. That's pretty much what I get out of this composition. In terms of something that smells similar, not as bold as what it reminded me of, but it did remind me slightly of another rose-centric fragrance from the House of Papillon that is called Tobacco Rose. It's not as bold as that. Here, Rosenthal is a lot more balanced, airy, a little bit more refined, easy to wear to my nose. So something along the lines of Rose Tobacco, Tobacco Rose by Papillon, but not as bold. Here the rose is more on the dewy side, and then even though it deepens in the dry down, is not that heavy or that dark. There's a light patchouli and a little bit of incense that is darkening the composition. Overall, like I said, is well balanced and then really wearable. I'm not sure if it's something that is full bar worthy for me, but it definitely smells really nice. Now in conclusion, I would say I'm really impressed by the house. My favorites being Moan and Fume. The other ones are really well done, really well balanced. Like I said, his style is on point. The way he complements the notes and then balances them is just outstanding. Somebody to keep an eye on and actually try the ones that he has already released. I'm really excited to try Amora if it comes back in stock along with Bourbon. So if you own or you've tried anything from the house, please let me know down in the comment section below what your impressions are. Again, thank you for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and then take care. Bye.